Welcome back, guys. This is Building a Million One Day at a Time. Today I want to talk a little bit about stocks. So we've talked about stocks in the past and what to get started in. Today was a pretty bad day. It was red, and that's a good day to buy. So today I bought $10,000 worth of stock. Okay, I want to kind of go over what I bought and why I bought it. So the first one is Vivint stock. So Vivint Smart Home. It used to be their solar company, but once they sold that, they transitioned that stock into their Vivint Smart Home. And today it's trading at about $11.15-16 right now. I put a limit buy-in for $1,000 at $11 even. If you look back, the reason I chose this stock is if we go back to their year, you can see that they were as high as $25 almost. And so being down at $11 is a really good time to buy. It makes very good sense to buy at 11 with that catalyst that it should go back up. Now, the reason I'm thinking today's a good day to buy is we've got a lot of things going on. We've got CPI data coming out soon. I think that's tomorrow, which will probably drop the stocks a little bit more. And we're getting some pain in these companies like Vivint, tech companies, things that have been trading at a high PE earnings, and Vivint's one of them. So I've chose to buy Vivint. Let's go look at some other ones. So another one I've looked at buying, Mind Medicine. Okay, and Mind Medicine, they just IPO'd, which they had their initial public offering about a week and a half ago. And they IPO'd at $5.14, and since then they've just kind of been in a downtrend. This company, they do medication for brain activity and stuff like that, and when you go onto their link in Robinhood, you can go down to the bottom and it tells you about their neuropharmaceutical company and what they do, so you can go read that. But so there's not a lot of information on this and where they should be trading at and stuff like that, so kind of just watching it for the last week and a half. It's been on a downtrend, so I made a purchase at $3.50, and it's sitting at about $3.76 right now, so it might go down a little bit more, which is fine. We should see some high uptrend on this within the next, 6 months to a year, okay? The next one I bought was ChargePoint, and I like ChargePoint because of the EV sector. I mean, EV sector is going to be blowing up. I put in a buy on ChargePoint at $20. Again, $1,000. Each one of these companies I bought today, I just put $1,000 in each of them, and I'm going to track them over the next 2 quarters, so quarter 3 and quarter 4, and see how they've done, which ones have done better, which ones have done worse, and see if we can make a little bit of money on them. So these are more of a long-term hold. I'm going to hold them for at least a year, and hope to grow some candies out of this. Okay, so put them in the oven and let them bake for a little while. Okay, so looking at ChargePoint for the last year, they peaked around $46. So buying them around 20, that's a good purchase price. Since November, they haven't been back under 20, and so even in these dips here, they were just barely at 20, so that's why I chose that point of $20, and I think they'll be a pretty good company over time. Okay, the next one is Palantir. So Palantir is at $21.53. I put a buy in at $21. Okay, and let me state this right now. I guess I should have stated at the very beginning. I put limit buys in on these, so the limit buy is it will not purchase that stock until it hits that number that I said to purchase it at. Okay, so this one's at 21. It purchased earlier. It's back up, so I bought it at 21. It's up 53 cents already today, which is giving me an average of a $25 return on that $1,000. So this one I think will be a great company overall. In the next year or so, you'll see it rising. In the last year, it's been as high as $39-40. So buying that 21 is a pretty good price, and I think it's going to be in the $60 range. That's my expectation of it in the next 2 to 3 quarters. So we'll see how that one goes. Okay, the next one I bought was CCIV, and CCIV is they do EV as well, electric vehicles. So I put in a purchase price at $18.75. This one It's got really close to that. If we look at the last year on Churchill Capital, CCIV, they've been up as high as like $60. They are a fairly new company. They were a SPAC company, so they were opened by other investments, and it's been doing great. I expect it to continue to go back up towards $60, $70, $80 a share in the next year or so. The reason I like electric vehicles so much is because that's where we're headed. We're not heading towards more gas vehicles. We're heading towards electric. Having President Biden in, he's geared more towards the electric vehicle stuff. That's what the Democrats do. So that just is an upside for Tesla, for CCIV, for NIO. Those are companies that I own and that I have high conviction in and that I think will do really well. I own quite a bit of Tesla. Tesla's done really well this last year, and I expect them to keep going that way within the next few years, okay? So the next one is Clover. Clover is at $8.99 right now. I put in a buy at $8. They dropped down fairly low here to about $8.60 over the last year. So they IPO'd at about $10. So if you can ever get a company that's done well that you can get below IPO price, that's probably a pretty good deal. I wish I would have bought it back here, but I didn't really think about it until lately. So they're one that I'm going to keep my eye on. As soon as they hit $8 again, I will purchase 1,000 of them. The next one was EXPI, which they are in real estate. EXPI, they do online brokerage basically. And with the housing market blowing up like it is now, I expect EXPI to keep growing. So I put in a purchase buy on them about $30, so they still have a little bit more to drop. If we go back to the last year, they were up in the 80 range, which I expect them to go back to. EXPI is a great company. They should be doing very, very well in the next couple of years, okay? The next one I bought into was FSR or Fisker, another electric company vehicle. On this one, I bought at $12, so I'm down about $5.81. Again, pretty low for Fisker. They've been as high as like 28 bucks. So they've done very well, and I expect them to keep doing very well over the next few years, again, with electric vehicle stuff. So these, again, are long-term holds. These are year-plus holds. These aren't, tomorrow sells. Okay, SFT, that is Shift. And Shift, I bought them, or I put the buy in at $7.50. So they got pretty close here. This is one that actually turned around this morning and went up. The next two did that. Shift Technology, they buy and sell used cars and sell them online. So they'll come to your house, pick it up when you want to sell it to them, and they'll bring it right to your house to buy. So it's a pretty good company. They've got a lot of upside. It changes the way you purchase vehicles. I think their point through COVID was, hey, you don't have to come out to the dealership, we can come right to you, which was kind of a cool idea for them, and it kind of blew up. So over the last year, they've done fairly well. They've been up in that $14 range, so I figured at about $7.50 that would be a good purchase price, okay? The next one is MVIS or MicroVision. MicroVision has done some crazy things this year. So I've been watching them for the last few months, and they spiked in February up to $23, and they kind of dropped back down to $10, and then they shot back up to over $28 here on this run in April 26th, okay? The reason I like MicroVision is because they do stuff like VR, they do some of the stuff like develop like laser beam scanning technology and some other products that benefit in the world of VR. They work very closely with Microsoft. So they're a company that you definitely want to keep your eye on. That price that I put in was $11.50. I think that's a very cheap price. I wish I would have picked it up this morning, but they had a run too, just kind of like Shift did, and tomorrow they could be back down. They usually have big runs and big drops, but if you can hold them over time, I think that's going to be a good company to hold. And then the last one that I am looking at is Plug. And Plug Power, they do charging stations and things like that for electric vehicles, okay? So again, in that EV sector, right now they're down. I put a buy-in on them at $23.85. They've come fairly close to that today. I expect that probably to hit tomorrow. They've hit almost that $24 mark. So those are the 10 that I've chose. If you want to watch them with me over the next year, I will do updated videos probably once a month to see where they're at and how they're moving, and we'll follow why I bought them and learn more about them. So if you like this video today, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to this channel. I post usually once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on if I'm uploading stock information. I've got a couple links down below. If you want to get a free stock with Robinhood, you can click on my link down below. You'll get a free stock. Webull, also there's a link down below for Webull. If you deposit $100 or more, they'll give you 2 free stocks worth of up to $1,800, as well as a link to my Blockfi account, which you get up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin when you deposit up to $100. Okay. This is Building a Million One Day at a Time. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.